Hey beautiful people, it's Ricky and I'm back with another video. So in this video, I want to answer some questions that you guys have asked me. So I always get questions on my YouTube channel and I just want to make sure I answer these questions for you guys. If for some reason I do not totally answer your question, please go ahead and call me. So my phone number is 833-RICKITA, or if it's a real estate question, because don't forget I'm a real estate broker. If it's a real estate question, go ahead and call me at 407-374-2747 and I'll be sure to answer that question for you. If you guys haven't heard already, a lot of questions could be answered when you guys join the 60 points in 60 days. So this is free 1-hour presentation where I put together to show you guys how to increase your credit scores. So those people that's looking to increase their credit scores, a lot of questions can be answered just by watching that free video. And then you guys get the free dispute letter for collections. You guys get the free dispute letter for inquiries and charge off. So a lot of stuff can be answered that way. So go ahead and check that out. If you guys, for some reason, need like more one-on-one help, don't forget you guys can always sign up where I do like the one-on-one group meetings where I'm teaching you guys hands-on what to do, and I'm going through the 60 days with you guys to show you hands-on what you need to do. So definitely check that out. The link is down below. So let's go ahead and go through these questions. Make sure you guys like this video, make sure you guys subscribe, and hopefully these questions and these answers are very, very helpful to you guys and it's helping you learn more about credit. So the first one, when I first received my Credit One card, I thought it was Capital One. Why are they so similar in packaging? So Credit One to me is very similar to Capital One. To me, Credit One Bank just has more fees. I don't know if Credit One Bank was just trying to go off of the marketing and the image of Capital One, but it's okay. If for some reason you signed up for the Credit One Bank credit card and you did not mean to, then you can always close that account. It may report negatively on your credit reports because now you have an open account and that you just closed, but you can always try to pre-qualify for the Capital One credit card on their website. But they do look very, very similar. Let's go ahead and check out that Capital One credit card because I already have it pulled up in terms of my screen. So I want to show you guys that Capital One. So this was the Kikoff account. Let's look at the Capital One. So Capital One and Credit One, they definitely look very similar. Let's go ahead and check them out, especially their basic account with Credit One. So this is like their basic card. This is their platinum. So this is their platinum, and then Capital One, this is their platinum. This is their platinum. So they do look very, very similar. Here's the Quicksilver with Capital One. Take your hand out your mouth. This is a American Express card with them. So they definitely look very, very similar. And you can browse all of Credit One Bank's cards here. So you can be able to see like the different cards that they have. But they do look very, very similar. They have the Wonder card, and then Capital One. They have one for travel too. So you guys can be able to see like they do have a lot of similarities in their cards. This is their Venture card. This is very similar to like their Wonder card. But to me, Credit One Banks just have the higher fees. They look very, very similar, but they are technically different. They just look very similar. So if for some reason you apply for the Credit One Bank card and you actually meant to apply for the Capital One Bank credit card, then you guys can pre-qualify. And let me actually show you that really quickly. So you guys can go to Capital One's website. If you hover over credit cards, you'll see where you guys can possibly just pick the card that you want to get. But let's go ahead and just click on credit cards. And you'll see right here, it says, see if I'm pre-approved. So they can pre-approve you for one of Capital One's credit cards. But Capital One, Credit One, even sounds the same too. But you'll be able to know like the difference by just learning the credit card. So if you want that Capital One, pre-qualify for them. I just finished paying mine off too. When you guys pay off your Kikoff account, it automatically closes. So once you pay that $10 per month for the 12 months, it's going to automatically close. Whether or not you should get another account after you pay it off will depend on where your credit score is at. If your credit score is still not where you want it to be and you technically don't have any more installment accounts, then I do suggest you go ahead and apply again for their $10 a month installment account. If you guys get your credit score where you want it to be, then you don't necessarily need to apply for it again. So that decision is going to be up to you. But if you want to just continue to have another installment account reporting, then it would be a great option if you guys were to apply for that again. Let's go ahead and actually look at that account too. So here is the Kikoff. So here is that credit builder. So this was, let me see. Okay, this was the first Kikoff loan that they started. Here's that credit builder loan right here. So mine is paid off. I paid the $10 per month all the way from 2022 to 2023. I paid $10 per month. I withdrew my funds because as soon as you pay it off, your funds is going to sit there. That 120 is going to sit there. They're going to automatically close that account. So I got a notification from Credit Karma saying, hey, your account, you have a new closed account on your credit reports. And I'm like, what? Stop playing with me. But then I realized it was just this account. So this $120 is just going to automatically sit there. So it's best if you guys were to go ahead and just get that money and withdraw it. And if you want to start it back up again, you can, because they automatically send you an email congratulating you on paying it off, and they're asking you, would you like to sign up for it again? It is totally up to you guys on whether or not you want to sign back up for it again. Right now, the only account that I have right now is their credit account right here. So they say I'm early. I already have auto pay, so I'm not going to try to pay anything on it anyway. My utilization is at that 1%. I'm paying $2 per month, which is what I want, like the lowest amount you could pay per month, and they're just reporting to the credit bureaus. So this is the account right here. It's already set up for auto pay. This is the only account that I'm going to keep right now. I'm not going to reopen the account because I really don't need them to boost my credit score. I think that me opening that account again is going to probably drop my credit score, and I don't have time for that, you guys. But that's only because I already have a certain amount of accounts that I really don't need another account. So I think just because of that, it's going to drop my credit score. So I'm not going to re-sign up for that account. But if your credit score is not where you need it to be, then go ahead and just re-sign up for that account. Since you're married, does your husband old accounts come onto your credit report and the collection start calling you? I have an account that keep asking me for payment, and I don't even remember having. When you guys are married, sometimes collection companies will call you about your spouse's debt. If you have that problem, see if that account is already in your credit reports. And if they're calling you about the debt, check to see if you're in a community property state and reach out to an attorney if you think that they can possibly sue you for that debt. If that debt show up on your credit reports, I do suggest that you guys send a letter to the collection company. Check out the 60 points in 60 days link down below. I give you guys a free letter you can send to the collection company to make sure that it don't show up on your credit reports. And if it's already on your credit reports, I think that you guys should definitely dispute it and talk to your spouse about this debt. Now, you said since I'm married, let's get this right. I'm not married anymore, you guys. I already got a divorce and I'm never getting married again. I already been there, done that, moved on, very happy where I'm at. Been together for a long time now. But I never had my ex-husband, I never had his debt show up on my credit reports. I never had that. And I think I can say that because me and my ex-husband, we did not I don't think we did like the real married thing, like having our accounts together and, being on each other's loans. We did not do things like that. So I think that's the reason why we did not have that. But if you guys are having your spouse's companies call you, then I do suggest that you send them that validation of debt letter because they're calling you. And then if they cannot validate it, then you should tell them, hey, I'm not an attorney, but what I would personally do, I would tell them, hey, if you guys keep contacting me, I'm going to have to sue you. You guys need to contact them or whoever you think it is, especially if you send them that validation of debt letter and they're not responding correctly, then that's what I would personally do. But that's just me. Like I said, too, My ex-husband, I didn't have his debts and stuff like that show up on my credit reports, thank God. But I did not have like that type of problem. We didn't have like accounts together or anything like that. I did add him onto why I let him use like some of my credit cards and things like that, but we didn't have like no accounts together where this was happening to me. So if you guys are having them accounts show up on your credit reports, definitely dispute them and send them the validation of debt letters after you send out your first round of letters. So you have to send out your first round of letters to the credit bureaus. And I wish that I can show it right now. Let me see if I can actually, oh wait, not a video file. Let me see if I can actually present. No, I can't present it. I don't have the file. Let me see. This is going to be the free dispute letter that you guys can send out to the credit bureaus right here. Okay, yep, here it is right here. So let me share my screen so you guys can see. This is a free dispute letter that you can send out to the credit bureaus and try to have that collection account removed from your credit reports. If you guys go ahead and do the 60 points in 60 days, use that link, you guys will get this letter for free. This is the letter that you send to the credit bureaus, plus you'll get a letter to send to the collection company. I suggest that you do not send a letter to the collection company until you send this one first. Wait the 35 days, then or 30 days, then you go ahead and send out letters to the collection company, because a collection company cannot technically be held liable until after you go and talk to the credit bureaus first about the account. So talk to the credit bureaus first about removing it. When that account come back verified, then you can talk to the collection company and say, hey, how did that account come back verified? So this is the first letter that you will send out when you dispute accounts. You'll put your first and last name here, your address, social security number, your date of birth. Put the credit bureau name here and put their address, whichever credit bureau it is and whichever credit bureau is reporting to. And then go ahead and put your name of the account here, the account number. If the account is technically like it's not yours, you don't have a contract with them, not liable, unverifiable, you could technically put that here and then put please delete it from my credit reports. So you technically could put that there. I'm not an attorney. I can't give you legal advice. That's what I would personally do. Contact an attorney for the information, but you know, that's what I would put there. Okay. And if it's multiple accounts, then you can list those multiple accounts. Like I said, too, that dispute letter is available when you guys do that 60 points in 60 days. That is available there. So definitely go ahead and check it out. Send that into the credit bureaus. Wait about 35 to 40 days. After the 35 to 30 to 35 days, then go ahead and send that other letter that's to the collection companies. You'll see it's like the third letter on there. So you got the first letters to the credit bureaus for delayed accounts. Then you get a free inquiry letter. Then that third letter to the collection companies, that's the one you want to send out. Send that out 30 to 35 days. But that's what you can do with those accounts that you guys are getting that's for your spouses. Or if you got negative accounts, you can use the same letter. So go ahead and check it out. Hopefully that answers your question. Let me go ahead and add the other page back on that we had. I believe it was at Kikoff. Yeah, here it is here. Okay. I have a question. Is it better to pay my full balance daily? Are they talking about, let me look it up. Are they talking about regular? Discover. When it comes down to Discover, you do not have to pay your full balance every day. I just tell people to just make sure that you pay your full balance. If you want to pay, at least pay your statement balance by your due date, or pay a few days before your due date. If you get to the point with Discover where you're making multiple payments, they're going to put a hold on that money anyway. So you're not going to be able to use your card. Usually you make a payment, the next day the money is going to be available. When you do multiple payments within a short period of time with Discover, they're going to wait a long time to let that money be available. It just seems so scammy and risky. So just wait until a few days before your due date. You can pay off your full balance there, or you can just pay off your statement balance at that time. And then on your due date, you can pay off the remaining amount if that's what you want to do. But do not go ahead and make like a lot of payments every day. You don't necessarily have to do that. Just if you want to work on your utilization, just by your due date, you can keep that statement balance down. Just guarantee by that due date so that you don't pay any interest. Now, when it comes down to me personally, on my accounts, what I like to do is by the statement bank, like today, my Navy Federal balance, my balance is due. I'm going to make sure that my full statement balance is paid off. So I'm going to go ahead and pay whatever amount that I have to pay on my statement balance today, but I actually use way more than a statement balance on my credit card. So I'm going to make that payment today, and then maybe tomorrow or even today I'm going to pay off whatever I'm going to pay off so that it can have a lower utilization. I know at least, like today is the 14th. I know at least by the 19th is when they're going to report for me. So I'm going to make sure that by the 17th, I have it paid down. 17, 18. I'm going to pay whatever I'm going to pay so that my utilization is reported very, very low. And then I'm not going to use that credit card again until the 20th, because I already know they reported to the credit bureau by then. I got that low utilization. I can max it out if I want to. It's not going to affect my credit score. So I'm going to wait until after the 19th, which is the 20th, because I want to be safe. I want to make sure. So I had problems with that before, thinking they reported and they didn't. And then they report a large balance. On the 20th, I'm going to go ahead and use that credit card again. But I do not make multiple payments, probably because I have a higher limit too, and I'm not using too much on my credit cards. But I'm just going to make sure that I pay my statement balance by my due date, so I don't be charged any interest. And then at least 2 days before my statement date, which my statement date is going to be on the 19th, by the 17th, I'm going to pay off any remaining amount that I'm going to pay. So I technically got 3 more days to pay any remaining amount that I want to pay. I can technically pay it all today, but I'm going to wait so I can have those 2 payments. I'm going to wait the 3 days because I want to pay off another credit card too. So this is just how I have it shifted. And today technically is Tuesday. So on Friday, I'm going to just go ahead and pay off the rest of it. But it's going to be dependent on, what you guys have available in terms of your funds. But just make sure that you guys are paying your statement balance by your due date, so you guys are not being charged any extra interest. And that's just what I'm doing. You guys can do whatever you want. I just want to make sure I don't be charged any interest. And I know just paying every day, this ain't gonna get it like that. That's not going to work. So I just make sure by the due date, I pay my statement balance, and then I pay any remaining amount like 2 or 3 days after my due date, depending on your credit card. And definitely 2 days before my statement date. That's the day I like to really go off of. 2 days before then, I make sure I pay whatever I want to pay to make sure I have that low utilization. So I'm guessing they're talking about Navy Federal, because that's the only one where I would think that you need to have a checking account with them to get their secure card. So when it comes down to getting a secure card, if you want to get a secure card, always try to see if you can get the Navy Federal, or try to see if you can get the Capital One credit card first, because these ones, the Navy Federal, Capital One, and Discover, Capital One last, put that last. Try to see if you can get those first, because if you guys get those first, those are the ones that's most likely to graduate. Do not try to get any other secure credit card until you try those first. So I do suggest that you get those. Try to see if you can pre-qualify for a regular credit card with them if you cannot get those secure credit cards first. If for some reason you can't get those, go ahead and get a Kikoff account, get the Self account, get the Credit Builder account. Try to get those next. The First Progress if you need to. The First Premier. Try to get those next. The First Progress. Try to get those next. But try first for Discover, Navy Federal, and then Capital One. Now, It's going to be different because this question right here, I answered this when it came down to building your credit when you don't have the best of credit. So try to see if you can get those secure first. If for some reason you don't have that bad of a score, in you can possibly get a regular credit card. Try to get that too. Like, try to get the regular ones first, but just try to pre-qualify. If they say no, then you already know what it is. If your credit score is just that bad, you can't get any other credit card, try to get like the Open Sky credit card, and then that would be good for you.